Hello everyone, welcome back to the class. So, last what we have learned in the class? Yes. You all remember? We have learned types of pencils. Yes, types of pencils. So, do you remember or we should take a quick review? Okay, so let's have a quick recap. So, as I explained you about the pencils, remember? Okay. So, this is H. H is for hard. There's 2H, 4H, 5H. Then now come to the next B. B is for soft. 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B, 10B, 12B. And one HB pencil. That is a most common pencil which is used for drawing and writing. Kids are also using. We are using this pencil from grade. Which grade? From pre-primary. And this will remain with us forever we use. Okay, now come to the next. So shades of different pencils. So I have already explained you about the different stages of different shadings, right? And it's all depends on the pencil and the pressure you're going to put it on your hand, right? So have a look. 2B, 4B, 6B, 8B, 12B. So there is a 10B also which is missing, I think. Why it is missing? Because 12B and 10B is almost the same shade we can get from one pencil also, right? Now, so today's lesson, shall we start? Okay, you have learned all the techniques: hatching, stripling, cross hatching, rendering. So now, how we are applying this on the composition? That is the next question. How will we do it? And if we are doing it, how it comes? How do we observe light and shade in the object? Okay, so start with three type of tones. Okay, now there are three type of tones we have: light tone, middle tone and dark tone. These all tones will visible when we observe the light very carefully. Yes, here. So can you see? I have prepared some samples for you. So first, whenever we start drawing and a composition of still life, what we have to see? The light source. The light source should be in a proper position, so then the light can reflect on the object properly, so the things will be visible more on that. Okay, so now come, if we can talk about the shades or tones, there are, I have already explained you, light, middle and dark. Can you see the difference in these three shades and tones? Yes, light is light, middle is semi dark and dark is absolute dark. Okay, these three tones, if we generally observe the light and shade in the object, is generally visible. But if we can talk about the proper shading and light effect when the light falls on the object, how it looks. See, there's an example about the light source and how the light reflects on the object and how the shades appear on the object. Okay, so we can see here, you can see the right side, there's a light source. This light source can be a left side also. It's not only the right side will be the part where the light can come from. It can be come from left side also. It can be come from the top also. Okay. The thing is how you are observing the light source. Now see the light source at my right side and see the reflection of the light. How the light falls on the object. So first, the area which is direct contact to the light, that is this one. So it means this area is getting the direct light of the light source. So it's called highlight also, because there is too much of light on this side. Then if you can see slowly, if we go little more here, so you can see the light is less over here. Can you see this side? Now see, slowly this area is becoming dark because light is not getting reflected there, not going directly. So there are certain areas where light goes direct and somewhere light don't go directly. It goes like, little bit of area it covers. See, this is the area where the light is not direct. So this area is little darker than this area where the light is falling here. Where the light is falling this, where the light is here. Now you can see this. As I explain you, this is semi-light area where the light is not going directly and it is not direct contact to the light. Okay, now if we can go a little more forward here, so you can see this area is totally absolute dark. Why? Can you see? And can you tell me the reason why? Why this area is totally dark? Okay, so this, why this area is totally dark? Because the light source is not reflecting his proper light on this area. So means the light cannot reach to this area, so that area will be a dark. Right. So this area will be dark side of this sphere. Now come to the next. There is a down, you can see the shadow. How come shadow appears? Can you tell me? Shadow appears when the light is the opposite side of the object. I mean at the back of the object. So if we talk about the shadow is called cast shadow. And you know that shadow is as important as the object. And always you can see the shadow appears bigger than the object. And one more important thing, how can you recognize the shadow? Shadow always come in front if the light is coming from the back side, and that shadow will go at the opposite side. And it plays a very important role to make your picture real. As you can see, if I can draw the sphere without the shadow, it will look like it is on the air. But if I can make a shadow, it's like it's some base it has. So there's a rule to color the shadow, to shade the shadow. Around the object, the shadow will be appeared so dark, but slowly when it goes little out from the range of this, so it becomes little light because the light start reflecting on the shadow and it gives a lighter tone. And once it goes more out from the reach, so it's all start merging in the background. See, this is called casting a shadow. So now come to the next. There's a one box also have drawn it for you. So here also the same rule. You can see the direct light or highlight. There's a lighter tone. This is a dark. This is the dark shadow. This again the cast shadow. And you can realize it where the light is coming. That area is reflecting here, and where the light cannot reach, that area is totally dark. And you will might be surprisingly saying, why this area is white? Because of the reflection of light. As I showed you here, when the shadows go little out from the range, it becomes lighter and mixing with the environment. The same thing when this is the shadow, you can see, and slowly it becoming light. So when the light is coming on the ground or a surface, that light reflects from the ground to the object, and that appears here, and this has become little light, and this area is not appearing, so this is dark. So this is the rule of a shading. So now I'll show you how we can do shading in that object by observing the light. So as you can see, there's something ready for you. Okay, here you can see the light source at my left side, and now I'm going to start doing shading for you all. So if I can see here, light is coming, so I am going to assume it. If the light is here, what all area this light will cover. So that is all we observe and assume. We don't draw such lines or some outlines to show this is the light is falling on this side. Only we observe and assume. We just imagine there's the light. So this is the inner portion of this pot. The light will not reach inside, so this area will be appearing dark from the edges. But if you can see here, this is direct contact to the light. This area is the direct contact with light, so this will be light. Again, if you can see, this area again will be dark. Edges are always dark. So come to this area. This again, if you can see the reflection of the light, direct light. So this area will be highlighted. As I told you, the highlighted area is totally almost white. So if we can continue with this, there will be a middle tone I am applying, and here I wanted to show this edge. So this edge will be dark, and you keep that in your mind, the pressure, as I have always recommended. And one more important thing, you need to keep a proper direction, your hand in proper direction. It will not like that you keep on changing the direction of your shading. So here, very light. This area will be a little dark as it is coming. So slowly, light to dark I'm going. So here I'm using 2B pencil for giving this middle tone. Pressure should be similar. The moment you change the pressure on your hand, you can see the change in your shading. So when this come little down, the light will not reach here like the way it was here. So light but not that much highlighted. Now keep on moving your hand in one same direction. So first we have taken the middle tone, or we can say the lighter tone also. So slowly we can give the effect. Still life shading is not that work which we can do it in hurry. So first we need to do light, and gradually we observe the light and shadow and shading in the object and then do it. So you can see here I'm keep on doing. Here I'm using the rendering technique for shading this pot. You can use hatching, cross hatching, stippling and scribbling, scrubbling. See, I'm putting the pressure as I want dark, and somewhere here a little light as the reflection of the shadow. As I told you, some reflected area is also there. So I'm keep on mixing with putting less pressure on the hand but equal pressure. You can keep the position of your pencil the way you feel comfortable. Still life is not a one-day job. It takes hours to complete because it needs lot of detail. So we do so much of detail work in this by keep on doing, keep on shading, keep on observing the object, observing the light. What I am doing, it is all imaginary. Imaginary I'm observing, imaginary I'm assuming, and then I'm coloring. I'm shading. Here, here will be the darkest tone, because this is the down portion where the light will not reach, cannot able to reach. Absolute dark to highlight this line. Now here I am going to do middle tone, semi dark tone. Now, so here I am doing little bit of shading. Now come to the shadow. Now the thing is, as you can see, I am casting a shadow, and around the object, the shadow or a shade, we can say it's dark, and slowly it goes light. And we can't bound the shadow, like we can't draw a line to say, yeah, this much is the only shadow for this object. We can't. We need to smudge this shadow with the background also, like the surface where it's kept on, the object is kept on. So I'm keep on doing the surrounding areas very light, because the light is directly falling on these areas. And now come to the background. So background we can do vertically. You can see there is a line. So now I'm doing this hatching technique. I'm using this hatching technique to do this background, and I'm putting light and dark tones, uneven light and dark tones, to show the background, to make my object or drawing attractive. So this is the one of the style to create a background for the still life. It should be uneven. Now, like this, I have few more still life. See? Now you can see the still life with pencil shading. So hope you enjoyed this class.